What is up, nerds and turds, to another live stream repair. Before we jump into the HomePods, I figured I would share the latest progress on this Syng Alpha. Okay, so last stream we took a look at this. We were a little stuck getting this all split apart, and it turns out, as most of the steps along this way, getting this thing apart, it was plainly obvious and very easy, just a little stuck together. So essentially, you just take out all the screws that you can see and reasonably reach with your screwdriver and peel everything apart. We will put together an actual sort of like how to take these things apart video in the near future, but I figured it would be really cool to at least share what the insides of these look like, especially since it doesn't seem that there's like anything online on the insides of these, which, I mean, you can see through most of it, but still, what a thing of beauty. And you've got all of your connections here for the mids and tweeters, which sits just there like that, and that sits there. Everything pretty much sandwiches together and is held by a couple of screws. And yeah, it's surprisingly easy to get apart. We'll be doing like a really good close-up of all of this too, so people can get chip numbers and such. Here's this guy. So if we take this out and we flip it around very carefully, we can see our mids and tweeters. If I'm not mistaken, these are the mid-ranges, and then on the cones of the mid-ranges are also the tweeters. That could be wrong though. The tweeters could also be on the sides there next to each mid. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think the middle there is the tweeter, and the two on each side of that tweeter is the one mid-range. So there is your quick little peek at that. Like I said, we'll do a proper look inside of this thing very soon. But for now, we have a lot of HomePods that gotta get fixed up. So we'll get all this put to the side. I really wish they sold parts for these. Even if their go-to move is to replace everyone's Syng Alpha anytime it has an issue, even if it's out of warranty. Personally, I would rather just give them my money to fix the problem myself and keep it. So anyways, that's your quick little deeper look inside the Syng Alpha. Kind of tricked you guys there. We're not going to be spending too much time on that because we have a very large number of HomePods that got to get fixed up. If you guys do want me to see, or if you guys do want to see me take a deeper look, take a lot more time, and we'll get up close to the board and show close-ups of all the individual, chips and doodads. Subscribe and leave a like and let me know in the comments, and we will definitely do that. But I mean, if nobody's interested, and I guess if everybody else has already seen the inside of these, then that's all right. I will be happy to save myself the time. So let's get the names up here. We've got Ash. We'll go ahead and look at theirs first. Oh, not Ash, Alex. We've got a couple of Ash's HomePods still here that we're testing to make sure we know what hardware issues they do or don't have. So we've got Alex, John, and Chris. Okay. Oh yeah, if you're looking for help getting the HomePod restores working, join my Discord server, discord.gg/track44, and post your questions and screenshots of your issues there, and we'll be more than happy to help you. If I can't help you, there's other people with bigger brains and they're more than happy to beat me to the right answer. So, all right, Alex. We'll probably see them pop into the chat here any second. Alex has a HomePod with no power. I do want to take another quick peek really quick at the bottom firing subwoofer. It's quite interesting that they have basically a hole through the middle of it and the double extension there. And then that's the FPGA connector that plugs into the control stem with the rotating dial and such. That feeds out through the other side here, and that plugs into the amplifier. It is it's just such a beautiful, every single component of this speaker has been very gorgeous. Alright, I could spend hours just looking at the parts of that speaker. Let's fix some stuff. Where's my knife? I don't know. I guess we'll just use this. Michael is here. Welcome back, Michael. Alright, we've got a return label in here. Thanks for making that easy. Try to keep all this styrofoam off of the pod here. I don't want to have to pick it all out. Grab this guy. Looks like it's been a while for you, buddy, hasn't it? All right. We've got no power. Hello. There we go. Alright, we've been putting this off long enough. Let's get this apart and get it fixed up. Alright, let me ask you guys this, because I'm not a network guru. That stuff a lot of times goes way above my head. But what happened to me about 3 o'clock this morning, my internet apparently went out. So I check my, I log into my account and it's paid up. It's not like showing disconnected or past due or anything like that. No reported outages in my area. No problems that I could find there. So and what else is strange is I could join my Wi-Fi, but I couldn't access, I couldn't hit my router. But I assumed at the time that was because Macs and iPhones don't like to use a Wi-Fi network that you're joined for local resources, even if you're on that offline Wi-Fi network. It'll prefer to try to do it all over your cell data, so things tend to not work very well. Basically, so I've got quantum fiber internet. The fiber plugs into the quantum fiber modem, and then the quantum fiber modem sends the internet to my over Cat5 to my Unified Dream Machine router. And then I got my access points plugged into that. So basically I could connect to the Wi-Fi, but for whatever reason I couldn't get the internet. I couldn't even see any local resources. It was really weird. But I called Quantum because I figured, I probably can't access this stuff because of iOS weirdness. And they said, yeah, no, we definitely see problems at your address. The modem, our modem is not showing online from here. And I'm like, alright, so it is a problem with their equipment or their service, not me. And we go through basic troubleshooting, we reboot the modem, we check the cables for everything. Nothing's changed, it just suddenly stopped working. And they're pretty stumped, and they decide, alright, we're gonna have to send a tech out to take a look at why this is not working. Why is your modem not connecting? Why is our modem not connecting, I should say? Because it's Quantum Fiber's modem. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's perfectly fine. They were able to schedule someone to come out and take a look tomorrow. Which, compared to my past experience of needing to wait 2 weeks with no internet service before they could send someone out, Fantastic. That is great. But the strangest thing was, I was like, while I'm waiting, I might as well just restart my router, my Unified Dream Machine router. So I go to restart it. It says it'll take about 5 minutes to start back up. 10 minutes later, and it still says this is taking longer than expected. It's basically hung trying to start back up again. And I'm like, all right. So I pull the power from my router, wait 10 seconds, plug it back in. It boots right up. My internet comes back. The modem comes online. My Wi-Fi is working again, and I can hit my router now. It was very strange. Everything is working now, obviously. I was gonna almost not be able to stream today. But I cannot understand or think of any reason why that happened the way it did. How is it that my internet stopped working suddenly at 3 in the morning, and I could still join my Wi-Fi, but I couldn't access any local resources. Nothing on my LAN. Nothing on the internet either, of course. But I could join my Wi-Fi. Like, it would join the network, but then it would say no internet access. So everything would keep trying to use cellular data. And I called Quantum, and they said, yeah, our modem looks like it's having a problem. We're going to have to send someone out. And then I restart my router, and it fixes everything. I don't get it. My Dream Machine router is not doing any negotiation with Quantum. It's purely just getting, I believe, no, that's incorrect. That is incorrect. I am getting a public IP. My Dream Machine does have a public IP, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it is, I think I have my modem set in bridged mode. But bridged mode or not shouldn't affect their ability to see it. What doesn't make sense to me is how it was almost certainly an issue with my router, because I restarted my router and that's when things started working. But then how did that affect my ISP's ability to see my modem? They're two different pieces of hardware. That router is downstream the modem. So how? And like, I didn't replace the cables or anything. If it was a cabling issue, I would have expected like it to break again, or the link lights to be inconsistent, or something. Evidence of physical damage to the run between here and there. I have no clue. I am stumped. It was really nice to be able to just shoot a text to Quantum Fiber saying, fixed, in all caps, to cancel that appointment instead of waiting on hold for another 2 hours to talk to someone. Something must have been going on earlier today, because the wait times were just insane. Completely unrelated to our problems. So but what doesn't make sense, and this might make sense to you, and your answer is just not, my brain doesn't process it as deeply, but I still don't understand how, if my Dream Machine router was having problems, how that would affect Quantum's ability to confirm functionality of the modem. Right? Right? Like, that doesn't make sense, right? Or does it make sense? If it's that PPPoE login, and like that is like the reason why, and that's expected behavior, I'm gonna have to do some research and look into that. That is surprising to me. Anyways, as you can see, we've gotten to the amplifier of this HomePod. We've got the old DC filters off to replace them in order to prevent those gnarly death farts from occurring. Let's see, the modem basically only translates the signal from the provider to your Dream Machine. It still does the credential stuff of connecting. Yeah. I say yeah, but I don't really know what you're saying. I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but... But in my mind, the modem has a proprietary heartbeat to Quantum, to my ISP, because it's an ISP-provided modem. So, regardless of configuration, there should have been a way for them to see the modem online if it was an issue with my hardware. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't have anything like a heartbeat, and it is purely reliant on everything working. Alright, filters are freshened up. Let's get that 46K dated diode out of there. Oh man, and like I woke up today to like not getting paid. Like I logged into payroll and my employer definitely sent me a paycheck, but my bank didn't deposit it for some reason. So I called them. I was like, yo, why didn't you guys deposit my paycheck? And they were like, oh, we had actually reached out to you a few weeks ago asking for additional verification, because we periodically do that for customers. And I was like, verification for what? And they were like, for your account. I'm like, but like, what kind of verification? Why, what? And they were like, oh, well, we just, it's just an extra security measure that we do to make sure, you know, fraud or something, I don't know. But basically they had, because they didn't hear from me, they had frozen my checking account. Right when I was getting, you know, paid by my employer, right when they sent paychecks out. And then they unfroze my account. So I called my bank this morning. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get paid. What gives? They're like, oh yeah, your account was frozen and then unfrozen. So just have them try it again. And I'm like, why did my account get frozen? And then why was it unfrozen all on its own? And they were like, oh, we emailed you about it. So, you know, if you didn't get the email, then we restrict the accounts. Well, then why was it unrestricted after that? Something didn't make sense. I don't have any unauthorized anythings on my account. No suspicious activity whatsoever. It was just, we're gonna lock your account for 3 days. The same 3 days that you're potentially gonna get paid, and sucks to be you. What was really frustrating was when I called my bank and I asked them why I didn't get paid, at first they said, we don't see a reason why. Your account looks fine. We just don't see the payment attempt. And I got pretty pissed at them. I was like, what do you mean? I have my pay stub right here. It's going to the right account. Nothing has changed. So you guys need to explain to me. You guys need to figure out why or what is happening, so I can get paid, support my family, and live my life. And not worry about it. I want to focus on work, not this shit. And that was when they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll look into it more. Oh, turns out your account was frozen and then unfrozen. That's why we couldn't see anything, because it's unfrozen. So just get paid again, bro. Just have them pay you again, bro. Cool. Oh, yeah. So I went back through my email to try to find this verification email that they said they sent me before warning me that it would restrict my account. And I found it in my spam folder. And you know why it was in my spam folder? Because when you search on the internet for the contents of the email that they send you for this, everything everywhere says it's a big red flag, scam, spam, fraud, stay away, ignore it, don't do anything, don't call that number, don't call anything. So I did. My God, what a world we live in. And I had to escalate it to four. I was escalated through 4 different departments and supervisors. It would be, I don't know what it is, and then they'd say, oh, it's because your account was restricted. And I'd say, why was it restricted, and then why was it unrestricted out of nowhere? And they'd say, I don't know. And I'd say, I'm gonna need to know, and you're going to need to find out. And they would transfer me to someone else, or escalate me to their supervisor, and it would repeat. What happened? Why did it happen? I don't know. You're gonna need to figure it out and tell me. Okay, let me escalate. Nothing. There were no typos, no nothing. The confirmed problem was capital 1 froze my checking account because I failed to notice their spam email asking me to call them for additional verification. As if the email they sent that went into my spam folder didn't look and sound and read like spam, and when you Google it, it tells you it's spam, and it's like... In hindsight, I guess I could have called my bank just to make sure. But this is the first time anything like this has ever happened to me. And I've always erred on the side of, this sounds suspicious. It is safer to ignore it than try to act on it. Because the last time I tried to act on something suspicious, it ended up actually being. And my T-Mobile account ended up getting hacked within the first 2 months of us getting it. Oh. No, my employer 100% confirmed that they got a check return error from my financial institution saying that my account was frozen when they tried to deposit that check. And the account freeze was done by my own bank, Capital One. And then they just unfroze the account. I guess if you fail to reach out to them to verify, they'll freeze your account and then just unfreeze it after a few days. You don't have to do anything. That is so dumb. Like, I feel like I should be finding a lawyer and doing something about this, because I had bills that were supposed to get paid. I had credit card payments going through. And like, everything bounced. Everything bounced. And that's why I woke up this morning and my internet was disconnected and I didn't get paid, and I was like, what the fuck? My life is rapidly falling apart. But no. It is just a chaotic set of coincidences. Gosh, I don't even know what to do. I started banking at Wells Fargo when I turned like 18 or whatever, because I had to have a bank for the military to pay me, I guess. So I signed up for Wells Fargo because they told me that was the good one to go to. I left them for, I believe, the reasons they ended up getting class action sued for. I left them for Chase, and Chase was okay until, for some reason, I couldn't get them to not, like, if I was broke, I didn't want money coming out of my account. I don't want to pay for money I don't have. And what do? They continue to allow overdrafting and charge me for overdraft fees. And nothing sucks more than overdrafting your account $1 and getting charged $30, $40 for overdraft fees. So I was like, screw this. And I left Chase and I went to USAA. And USAA was great for a year or two. And then I ended up selling one of my cars. So I called USAA and I was like, hey, I'm selling one of my cars. I don't need insurance on it anymore. And they were like, oh, well, you're going to have to mail us your old vehicle's plates in and continue to carry and pay for car insurance until you send us that and proof of sale. And we process it all. And I'm like, no, you can put down that today I no longer own the vehicle and today I am no longer paying for insurance. And they were basically like, no. I don't know what that representative was smoking, but it was completely not legal, so I decided to move my car insurance and banking from USAA to... no, I think I went Wells Fargo, USAA, and then Chase. That's right. And then I went from Chase to BECU. BECU, again, they were great for a few years. And then they started charging overdraft. They had the same problem as Chase. Like, I would disable overdrafts and they would still allow overdrafting to happen and then charge me fees for it. Go figure, they ended up getting sued for the same thing, and I didn't see a cut of that. So I left them, and I'm now with Capital One. I don't know who I'm gonna try next. I might just quit everything and go live in the woods with my 500 HomePods. If you can split payments between banks, I would do that if my rent didn't cost as much as one of my paychecks, and it wouldn't mean paying 3 times the payment processing fees in order to pay my own rent. I gotta pay like $10 just to pay my rent. So if I gotta split that up into 3 payments, I gotta pay $30 extra just to pay my fucking rent. It becomes a hassle. But at the same time, I think, having none of my paycheck is more of a hassle than splitting it up between a couple of accounts and having to move it around every time. I don't know. I could just do nothing and it probably will never happen again, and I will probably not have any problems for a few more years. Here we go. Alright, tell me something. Look up the built card. I think I've heard of those.
For more info, check the Home app associated with this HomePod.
Yeah, a lot of card providers and banks and I mean I think even Cash App and Venmo offer bill pay. But I like a financial institution that has a physical building I can walk into. Because what I've noticed is the less physical presence a financial institution has, the shittier their support is. And not just that, it becomes more inconvenient quickly the more you need to do. I think I've heard of Built, but I haven't really looked into them yet. I'll have to look into them though. I've tried Chime, Aspiration, who are the other ones? Albert. The problem that I have with a lot of those is, like I said, no physical presence. So, and a lot of times I need to put cash in or take cash out, and I don't want to deal with ATMs and blah blah blah. Oh, and another problem that I have with the ones like Built and Chime and Albert and Aspiration and even Cash App. I've noticed this with Cash App. My card will just randomly not work at certain merchants or at certain places, and it is the most awkward or shittiest situation to be in when you've got money and that you just keep, like, every time they swipe it or every time you swipe it and you try, you get a notification on your quote-unquote banking app that says transaction declined for your safety, or transaction declined for literally no reason. We're not going to tell you, and if you contact our support, we're still not going to tell you why. It just, no. I don't understand. Like, there are people that rely on these things. Like Cash App, for example, is the one that's burned in my head because I tried using it as just a straight-up legit bank, because that's what they try to push themselves as. You get an account number, a routing number, it's FDIC insured, you get a debit card, you can do direct deposit, you can do bill pay. It's a bank. But it doesn't act like one. Like, I'll try to pay for gas, or I'll try to pay for parking, or I'll try to pay for food, and it won't work, and it's like, why? If this was my only way to get money in and out, I would be so screwed. And then for a lot of people, it is their only way. Oh man, and then you read the reviews for these apps. It's really depressing. Thousands of people with similar issues, like their money, and I'm sure some of these people it's pure user error or they just don't know how to do math. I've been there. But it's still sad to see all those people that are like, yeah, they basically lost a bunch of my money and said there's nothing they can do about it. Now, if it's a brick and mortar, you can walk in there, speak to a manager, then and there. Now, that was one of my complaints with BECU too. Their branch hours. They did have physical locations, they were a credit union, but their hours were absolutely awful. Like, if you needed to do something, you had to take time off work to get it done. Because they were only open while you were busy. Well, you were already working. 9 to 5. No weekends, no late hours or early hours. 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And as a bank, I don't know, people need a break, but there's also enough people looking for jobs that you can you can do what's called shifts. And I don't know. I'm ignorant and I don't know. I'm not privy to all of the problems. But what I do know is, most of the decisions are profit driven. So it is what it is. I didn't even notice you chatting there, Alex. Yeah, cashier's checks were a big one for me because at the time I think we were trying to move. And if you want to move into an apartment or a rental house or something, if you want to make a large purchase, chances are you're going to get a cashier's check to do that. And with a lot of those online only services, they charge you for them. With Capital One and BECU and most others, they you just walk in, they'll give one to you. Oh, that's stuck in there. Come on. All right. Subwoofer smells fantastic. Yada. I don't think I've heard of Yada before. Is that a cryptocurrency or another financial institution? Ooh, another one. Stash. Stash is still around, and I still have my Stash account. They're all right though. They're okay for an online only. If you don't need the in-person stuff, I have never actually had any complaints with them. If I'm not mistaken, they still have a bank account. When they first launched their bank account, they sent everyone out metal cards. I thought that was really cool. They were one of the first to do the whole metal card hype train thing. But Stash is like a micro investment platform with like a side banking thing. And like I said, I actually, out of all of the ones I've tried and used so far, Stash has been the one that's given me the least problems. I do have to pay like $1 a month or something for it, but I think that's for extra stuff that I wanted. I don't think you have to pay. And then they've got like auto investing. They'll do all sorts of tricks and stuff. They were one of the first to do all this before everybody else started doing the nickel and dime for every purchase you make into an investment kind of thing. Don't get me started about crypto. I want crypto to crash and burn and cease to exist. Simply because I used to manage a couple of mining rigs for a couple of people, and between all of us, we made various mistakes that ultimately cost us, depending on the price of Ethereum, you could say hundreds or even tens of thousands of dollars. But, and the hardware was, perfectly good for what a lot of other people really needed at the time, and it was used to crunch numbers for no good instead. And supporting it was absolute hell. For the longest time there, it seemed like every other day I would have to remote into the machines and mess with the graphics drivers or tweak the mining software to get it to run for more than an hour without crashing. If we didn't lose any of our crypto, we would have made a fair bit from it. But for all of the time and energy that I put into it, I could have made more money doing something else for a better cause. And sure, if I was smarter with any crypto I may have potentially gotten, I could be potentially a millionaire. But for every millionaire that's made out of a winning stock trade, there are a million losers that funded that. So that's my opinion. So yeah, we are doing these filters first. We want to keep this HomePod running for as long as possible and give it the best chance of never coming back to us. These filters are ceramic capacitors that naturally decay over time and go bad. For their particular application, it is quite critical because the smallest of failure will be quite literally amplified by the amplifier into a gigantic problem. Filter's done. Let's flip it around and take care of that diode causing their lack of power. FinTech bank that wasn't a bank that required a middleman to transfer. Then the middleman went out of business, causing the FinTech. Oh no. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. At the end of the day, my employer was quite responsive and supportive to my situation. They were on top of it. They immediately looked into it, let me know what was going on, let me know what I should do, and then as soon as I did it, they reissued a new paycheck to me. So good on them. They didn't do anything wrong, and they pretty much never have. And luckily, the check got bounced and returned to them, so it's not like anybody's necessarily losing any money. Except for me. And my poor credit score. This could have happened any other time, but it had to be this one. And it would have been just fine. I could have moved some money around, but I'm still catching up from turning 30 years old and everything falling apart. Broke my heel. Got in a car accident. Got a whole bunch of medical bills and shit. Credit cards need to get paid off. Typical. Jeez. It's like, yeah, I could have maybe prepared a little better for something like this to happen, but I already prepared for things like this to happen, and they already happened, and I need more time to re-prepare before things like this happen again. I need a break. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh. Oh, Alex. If you were curious, you can skip back to the beginning of our live stream today, and we took a closer look at the insides of that Syng cell alpha. I only mentioned that because I think you were the one that was commenting about the possible gas mixture inside of the thing, so you seemed remotely interested in that, so go to the beginning of this live stream and you'll see. Oh my god, why is this not going in? You'll see some more video of us digging into that. But I think we've pretty much gotten it as far apart as we really need to go to make an actual how-to video on it. I'm trying to give Syng the benefit of the doubt and the best chance and the time they need to give me proper responses before I put them on full blast when I make this teardown video on their speaker. And I hope they're ready, because they're going to need to either stand behind their apparently they're just going to replace everybody's speakers that break, even if they're out of warranty, instead of sell parts. I can see if it is truly a rare occurrence for one of their speakers to have problems. If they, if they want to maintain a reputation in a certain sense that they want to have, then they would absolutely just be replacing anybody's speaker that does break, even if it's out of warranty, because it would behoove them to investigate why it broke, if they are indeed that confident that these should last for generations without problems. And they're not going to offer repairs or sell parts for them. So if that's truly the case, then us tearing one down will just be purely for entertainment purposes, and if you ever have a problem with your Syng speaker, just hit them up. And hey, I mean, if that's what they want to put down on paper and say, then I will buy more of their speakers and I will proudly refer people to them, because that is absolutely outstanding. It is I just don't see that being a reality though. What I do see instead currently are numerous people with issues with their speakers. Just numerous. I'm not saying many. I'm not saying only a few. I'm saying there are a number of people confirmed with issues with those speakers. And it seems like a lot of them do reach out to support, and they give up because support doesn't reply back to them, which is they're really good at not replying. Or they didn't bother reaching out to them, and they just kind of didn't bother. You know, it's broken, whatever. Which blows my mind for how expensive those things are. Ooh, KRK, no power. Oh, Clowning, welcome to the chat. KRK, those are the rocket speakers, right? I think I've got one of those. You know, frankly, with a lot of repairs that people ask me for that aren't HomePods, my usual answer is I have no guarantees, but I'm willing to take a look and take a crack at it. The risk is the cost of shipping it to me, and best case scenario, you pay a couple bucks for your repair. Worst case scenario, you're out a couple bucks just to have me look at it and tell you I can't fix it. But that said, I've got my contact info on my website, nixfix.com. You're always welcome to reach out to me with what you've got. I do always appreciate any additional info, exactly what problem you're having, the model number of your device, if you've done any research and found anybody else online with similar problems, especially if they've documented a repair for it. If there is info out there that documents how to fix your issue, you just can't do it yourself, let me know and I will be more than happy to do that stuff for you guys. But if it's uncharted territory, then the chances are decreased from there, you know. We've definitely taken things on before with no prior knowledge and figured it out, but there's also plenty of things that we've taken on that that we haven't been able to fix. I'll name off 2 examples. There was a MacBook Air that a fellow sent in to us nearly 2 years ago now, and it had a no power issue. We actually ended up ordering a parts board to replace a few components, and unfortunately there was just too much physical damage to the board already, and subsequent damage after that for it to be repairable. So we let them know, like, hey, we're not going to charge you for the repair, but if you want to buy a replacement logic board, we'll drop it in, put your old hard drive in it, and you can have your laptop back for just the cost of the parts it needs. We're still going back and forth, kind of waiting to hear back from them on that. But the other thing that I wasn't able to fix was one of those old flip video cameras that has like the flip out USB port. Someone sent one of those in because it would no longer power on, and they didn't care to get it fixed, they just wanted the data off of it. And we were hoping we could at least get it turned on so we could mount it and copy the files off, but we still have that. We have been unsuccessful in getting it to turn on. The next thing that we've been thinking is to rip the storage chip off and swap it onto another flip camera, or try to send it to some data recovery experts.
I'm having trouble.
Yeah. We can't fix everything, but we do make a good effort to try. And if we do not think that there is a good chance at all, I'll let you know. I try not to waste people's money and time unless I think there is a chance, like a good chance that we can. Oh, we got another email in from somebody that received their HomePod dongle. Another successful restore. It looks like they got hung up on the homebrew steps. They might have, it looks like they just needed the Xcode command line tools. My favorite problems are the ones that solve themselves when you just say, I'll take care of that when I can later. And it just solves itself. Alright, this is the last one that we'll have time for today. Okay. I must say, Chris, excellent job on the packaging. Let's shoot them an email. Where are we at, though? No power, HomePod. Here we go. Last one for today is Chris's with no power. Something like that. How do I open this? It's completely covered in tape. I wanted to save the bubble wrap. I think I still can. Okay. We are not very efficient today, but we are also not 100% here. Alright, so it looks like this one does indeed have the same no power symptoms with that crappy diode going bad. Let's get this apart. We will give it some new filters to keep those death farts away, and then we'll take care of that dead diode. Whew. Whew. That was very close. I guess I should mention this. If you guys are doing this yourself, boy, should I have said something like this a lot sooner. But if you want to minimize cutting your hand apart like I almost did, hold it up against your body and do it kind of like this. Like a kind of like that. I mean, yeah, you might, a little bit in your chest there, but that'll take it. This, oh, that hurts. Well, that's gonna, you do not want to cut that. Let me tell you. Don't let me tell you, because I don't wanna remember it. I do not want to recollect those memories. I'm gonna make a compilation video of every time I sliced my hand open, taking that off on all of our streams. that one is very stuck. I didn't. Oh, yeah, I know why. Let's get that rubbing alcohol in there. That should make it easier. Yeah. Look at that. Like magic. I don't even need to pry the rest of it up. It's good. It's golden. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I am based in Bellevue, Washington. Not too far from LA, but obviously you're not walking here. First up, flatulent filters. All right. Some fantastic filters. Let's get that shoddy Schottky diode replaced. That'll do it. There we go. That is all the time that we've got to fix today. That said, I need to assemble a couple of adapters because well, it's a good thing I try to manage expectations for people and let them know that it is going to take a day or two or possibly 3 to put your adapter together and get it out the door. But we are a little further behind than I want to be. So I have designed, well, I can't say I designed. I tweaked Timstar's adapter oh so slightly to fit these test probes that seem to be more easily available than the ones that are in the original guide. But these ones have sort of like a nub on the end of them instead of just that fine point tip. Here, I've actually got another one of them right here so you can see the differences. But basically that bottom test probe is seemingly more common than the top one, so I figured why not tweak the adapter to make it work with those, then throw that on GitHub and give people the option. That said,
I'm having trouble.
alright, cool. That said, it is a slightly different process to put these together. So, with the original probes, the super pointy ones, you need to solder the wires onto the probe and then stick the probe with the wire into the adapter. With these, however, because of their tip, you cannot put them in through the top, which means you cannot solder the wire and then put it into the adapter, which means you need to put the pin in the adapter first and then solder your wire to it on the end there. Obviously, this is 3D printed plastic, so you have to be absolutely on top of your soldering skill in order to attach these wires to these probes while they are in the adapter if you don't want to melt the plastic. So, that said, I like these probes a lot more. They seem to be a little more reliable and a little easier to procure. So, these will be the probes that we'll ship in the adapters from here on. And I've got the slightly tweaked version of this adapter on my GitHub. If you want to make it yourself, and if those probes are the ones that you can get your hands on. So right now, I'm just putting all of the probes into this adapter because this one is going to be a USB and UART. So we need those extra pads on there, or those extra pins. Yeah, don't go don't print the first gen adapter plate and stick these probes into them, because you will certainly poke into your debug port and damage it. I made those mistakes and I had those learning experiences, so you don't have to. Alright, so we've got a full set of probes in here. I just want to make sure that those are all the way in. And I like this design a little better too than the first gen, because this will, the chances of these probes popping out, putting them in through the bottom, is a lot lower than the chance of them popping out through the top. And then I'm just gonna get some super glue and make sure they're not going anywhere. While that glue is drying, let me grab another one and we'll pop the pads into, or the pins into that. Ah, shit. That disappeared, and I'll find it in my foot a few months later. Should probably wear safety glasses when doing this too, in case they fly out right towards your eyeball, you know? Here, I'll get you guys up closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Bullocks. There we go. It's going in. All right, one more. Alright, so all of those are in there. We've got our USB and UART lines. Pop some glue on that to keep them in place. And we'll grab the first one that we finished. The pins on that is. And let's Let's find ourselves a USB cable. We want to do this way. Right? Yeah. Alright, and I think we'll do a USB-C one on this guy. If this will fit. Nah, it doesn't fit. That's okay. This is a USB cable that I chopped off of an adapter that ended up not working, so it will suit our needs quite well. Should I get a wire stripper? Yes. Are my teeth messed up yet? No. Do I have cancer? I hope not. Okay, I actually want to solder this on first, so we'll do this. Itty bitty little USB port. We got our ground, D positive, D negative, and positive voltage. All right. Let's see if my hands are more steady than they were last time I was trying to do these. All right, that is a solid USB-C. And then what we do to keep these from messing with each other is I take this with a little bit of super glue. Gotta be careful where we put this glue. We don't want it going into the port. Very nice. And then once I've got that, I fill this up with a little bit of hot glue to keep it from twisting around and possibly shorting out. You know, we want to make these last as long as possible. I'm trying not to make a one-time use dongle. That'll actually take a minute. So let's go ahead and solder the other end of this while we're waiting. That's about as long as you want to put any heat on that. And then you give it a second to cool back down. That's why I like this thermal reactive 3D printed plastic. Gives me a little feedback. I definitely feel like I've got steadier hands today. Let's get our UART lines connected. Looks like I made a slight oopsie over here. There we go. We've got one more line to connect. That's the ground for UART. All right. And then let's grab something to wipe this off. And then we're gonna make these go straight up and then pinch them right there and bend that at a 90 degree. Make sure everything is still nice and solid. Nothing touching anything that shouldn't. Alright. It is time for the glue. The hot glue mess. So we're going to fill this port first. We don't want those wires moving around and touching each other. And then I'm going to stick some where's the super glue? Onto this end. We'll put a little bit of hot glue in this end. Push that in. Oh man, I forgot to show you guys on camera. There we go. We've got one fancy dandy cable. Now, this might not be necessary, but I'm going to do it anyways, and I don't care if it looks uglier, it's going to last longer and be more functional. We're going to stick a little extra hot glue around this to keep the cable from wiggling around and possibly coming out. Alright, that should do that side. I'm gonna crimp that right there so it stays and it doesn't, like sit on the table and make our hot glue all messy. Let's grab this guy and I'm gonna drop the hot glue through each of these so that way they insulate between each other. That way if there's any flexing, they won't short out between each other. I wish this hot glue dried clear. That would be really cool. It would give a really nice aesthetic. Instead it dries this very, it's hot glue, so. I'm holding it like this until that glue solidifies a little bit because I don't want it to like fall back out while it's still settling in there. But we'll flip it around and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. The last thing I do is just add a few more layers, especially on the bottom right here to keep it from bending. I'm going to stick this in front of the fan for a second. And there we go. Still needs to dry a little longer, but then we can test it. We'll make sure that this can restore a HomePod, that we can wiggle it without it causing problems. Not that I'm saying you can wiggle your HomePod while restoring it without problems. And we'll make sure that UART is also working. So that is all that we've got the time for here and now. I would put more of these together on stream, but we've got to split. I'll probably put more of these together tonight so that way I can get them shipped out. We are terribly behind, but that is all for here and now. I hope you enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll catch you in the next one.